How are we all doing? Hope you had an amazing weekend. So this week, as promised, we're going to do some lower calorie meals. I'm trying to do them roughly under 400 calories, but obviously that doesn't include any side dish. So today we're doing Kung Pao chicken. It will literally just be the Kung Pao chicken. It comes in at about, I think it was 303. It will vary. Different brands of stuff that you use will probably change the calories. So do look into the stuff that you're using as well. Soy sauce, etc. They will vary with calorie counts. So it's just a rough sort of guide. You can do like your own side with it. So if you want to keep it as low as possible, I suggest something like just do a steamed like pak choy, broccoli, and mange too or something. Nice and green, just on the side. If you want to go a bit higher, if you're doing sort of about 500 calories, 600 calories, you probably still could get a little bit of rice on the side of there, or some noodles, like some glass noodles or something. So, Kung Pao chicken. Some of you will know it. Some of you will order it from the Chinese. Some probably won't know what it is. Basically, in my opinion, it's basically like a sweet and sour, just with a bit of spice in it. So that's that's what I think it tastes like. We're going to do it, you can change it to pork or anything you want, or vegetables. We're doing it with chicken. For the recipe that I'll post up later, it does state to fry the chicken off first. I've not done that purely because of time. You don't want me standing there frying that off for 10 minutes with nothing to talk about. So all I've done is I put it in a glass bowl, the diced chicken, a little bit of water and cling film. I did it for about 4 to 5 minutes, just so it's cooked. It's not fully cooked, it's just about there. So all I'm going to do now is just colour this up. So the oil that we're using, you can use Fry Light. This is all calculated though in my recipe. So what we're going to use is we're going to use sesame oil. It's just going to give you a little bit of flavour as well. The thing with the healthy meals, just one moment. So we've got 2 tablespoons of that. This is going to work in the sauce as well, so we're not going to waste that. Yeah, the thing with the healthy meals, what I think, is it does need an injection of flavour. If you just do a boiled piece of chicken with some boiled veg, it's going to taste like boiled chicken and boiled veg. And for me, we'll just start colouring this off. For me, I always work down sort of Indian, Asian route, and you can pack a lot of flavour. It doesn't necessarily have to be spicy. We can go, some of the Asian stuff is more aromatic rather than spice. So we don't have to be over the top with the spices, it just injects a little bit of flavour into the dish. So I'm just going to colour the chicken. Obviously it's already cooked, so we don't need to worry about that. I just want to get a nice little colour on there. Obviously if you're doing the recipe, you can follow that and fry it first. It takes about 5 to 8 minutes to fully cook. The way I'm doing it here, we're just going for colour, that's it. So we've used two tablespoons of the sesame oil in there. Sesame oil wasn't expensive. You can pick it up on your normal shop. I picked that one up at Morrison's. I think it was about £1 something. You can use your local store if you've got an Asian store or whatever, or just pick it up on your normal weekly shop. It doesn't really matter. So a little bit of colour on them. We'll just put them back in. Right, the next job, we want 2 more tablespoons of this. If you notice, I'm having to measure it all out tonight. I'm not used to it. The thing when we do it normally, it's just like wham bam and we don't have to worry so much about what's going in there. So we've got, on the table, we've got 1 onion. You can use celery if you want. It's quite nice and you leave it a bit more chunky, the celery. We're just going to dice this up. So yeah, like I was saying, if you've joined late, if you don't really know what Kung Pao chicken is, for me, It's similar to a sweet and sour, just with a kick. That's my interpretation of it anyway. So, we're just going to start frying these onions off. We've just gone for white onions. Like I say, if you want to go for celery, go for celery. We've got 1 red pepper. Just go around the houses. Get the bottom off. Take that little bit off there. Right, we're gonna chop this quite rough. I quite like those chunks, it gives you a bit of texture to the dish. So, just dice it up. As comfortable as you like, do it slow or fast. Yeah, if you've got better knife skills, do whatever you want. But I would say, if you can invest in a good knife, invest in one good cook's knife that you keep sharp. That's what I would say. So in there we've got 1 onion and 1 red pepper. The next job, we're going to inject a little bit of flavour into this. So I've got 2 cloves of garlic. We're just going to smash this up, just the back of the knife. This is where your flavour's going to start coming in. Right, so back at the tip of the knife. I don't mind it sort of quite chunky in this as well. Adds a little bit of texture and flavour to it. If you want to do it in the on the grater, do it on a grater, whatever you want. So for me, that's fine. I don't mind that at all. So we get that in. This is when you're going to start building those level of flavours within this. Yeah, 303 calories. It's just 1 pot, 1 serving, yeah? So don't get excited. So next, we've got a thumb of ginger. Just going to do that. Just grate that. It grates. It's one of those things that doesn't like to be grated. So we want roughly about a tablespoon of ginger, depending on what will grate. Right, we've got some in there. Oh, that's quite a lot. So use the microplane or use a little grater, or you can just slice it up if you like that. So in that goes now. I want to start softening this down. So the heat's on full. What I'm going to do is add a little splash of water. This will just encourage it. You don't have to do this, but it'll just help to break down. I just really want to make sure those onions are cooked through. Don't really want them crunchy. The peppers aren't too bad. You can have them a little bit more crunchy. So that was about a tablespoon of ginger. If you want more, add more. Doesn't really matter. I'll reserve that for later. I'll pop the recipe up. I'll pop that up tonight, so you can add it to this week's shopping if you want. We've got a few to work through this week. A few of them are chicken. I've got 1 lamb dish, but like I say, they are all main meals. So you'd have to factor in your sides to that as well. Because I know some people would say, no, they're quite low then, but once you've had your side onto it, unless you're going to have something that's pretty low calorie, like with this, you could have, I think the wild rice is probably the lowest one, I think. Don't hold me to that. There'll be some nutritionists on here that tell me different probably. Right, so the next job is the sauce. So, usually you'd put maybe brown sugar, doing your sweet and sour, you'd have the dark brown sugar and stuff like that. We're not going to go for that. We're going to go quite sort of natural flavours. So we've got a soy sauce. If you can use a low salt, this is the one that I'd line around, so this is a normal. But use a low salt if you can. 2 tablespoons. There's a little dribble left, so we'll have that. This recipe that'll show up will serve 4. Probably 5 if you're small eaters. So, soy sauce in there. Next, sriracha. So, 1 and a little bit, 1.5 sriracha or hot sauce. That's just going to give you that kick. I don't put any additional chilli in this, so if you do want it added extra, add a few chilli flakes. So runny honey, 1. And then a good pinch of pepper. That's going to help with the kick as well. So about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Right, so we're going now, that sauce is about ready. Chicken goes back. Remember, the whole idea of why I try and do these is the sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes top meals. You know, we don't want to spend, if you don't like in the kitchen, you don't want to spend your life in the kitchen. I don't mind it. So that's a good job for me. Right, I'll just add a little bit of water just to get a bit of the sauce over there. Right, turn that off, leave that now. So, the next job, let's just clear some of this down. Right, the next job, I've got some cashew nuts. What about 35 grams of cashew nuts? Roughly, you know me. Right, so, I'm just going to roughly chop these. Use peanuts if you want. I just like the cashews. Get them from wherever you want. They're pretty accessible everywhere. So, just chop these down. Chop them as fine as you want. If you want them blending, blend them. If you don't like nuts, leave them out. Remember, it's your dish, you're eating it. Right, so a few cashews over the top. Right, next, spring onion, just the tops. Just the green tops. However you want, however comfortable you are with a knife. I think I will, one of the days I'll do sort of some real basic knife skills with you. Just to show you some little tips that we use in the trade, just so you don't chop your arm off. Right, so chilli. Just run that down. A little bit of chilli on top. Right, straight over. Remember, it's not going to be as saucy as the one from your Chinese, but it's going to still be pretty good. We've got a little bit of coriander, just real rough chop that. That's fine. And then just as a little kick at the end, I just like to add a little bit, touch of vinegar. Because remember what it is: sweet, sour, hot, salty. That's what we look for in this type of cuisine. That Kung Pao chicken, about 10-15 minutes, absolutely beautiful. Serve it with whatever you want. If you want rice with it, rice, noodles, whatever. If you need ideas, pop it on the group. Sure, some people will have side dishes that they do at home. If not, I'll sort of drop in and comment what I would serve with it. Like I say, you can serve anything you want. Pak choy is probably a good one, just steamed off. Broccoli, pak choy, mange too. Perfect, serve that on the side. Special fried rice, whatever level you want to take it to, that's up to you. Also, super excited, the aprons have come in. So the branded aprons, we've teamed up with Charlotte at Little and Large Printing. So she's doing all our printing for us. I'll just show you. These they're quite cool actually. The big old logo on them, yeah. So real good quality. They're adults at $13.50. We've got some kiddies sizes as well at $12.50. I'm gonna pop up a raffle tonight to win one, because this is literally the first one that's come in. So it'll be someone will be able to win that later on. Obviously, drop me a message if you want to order one. That's brilliant. And we'll be on tomorrow. I think I'm going to do a lamb curry. I don't know, I haven't decided. It's one of those 4 off that dish. All under 400 calories. So I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. I'll post the recipe up. And I'm going to go and eat that now. Cheers, guys.